And as the Four Seasons by Vivaldi fades away, it's time for me to welcome you to the first ever Polymath Challenge. Let me introduce myself. My name is Roan. I'm a 24-year-old autodidact, and I love making things and showing them to people. If you're new to the channel, be warned that this is not the usual content I put on here. The usual content is... I can't make any promises, but there's usually entertaining and fun and about many various interests that I get excited about. This video, I'm using air quotes, is no exception to that rubric. So, the Polymath Challenge. What is this? The short answer is that it's a trick that I'm playing on myself to keep myself interested so that I'll keep making stuff and keep getting better. It's a short-term goal that I've set myself to achieve by the end of the week, something that I think is just beyond my reach, something I genuinely think I can't do, or that I'm afraid to do. Over the week, I force myself to figure out how to make it happen. Parkour Generations is a company run out of the UK, which teaches parkour classes all over the world now. They would call this a break jump. It's far easier to visualize what the point of this is through the lens of parkour, as an example. So, I used to teach parkour. And for anybody who doesn't know what parkour is, I encourage you to flick over to another tab and Google it. It's the images and videos that you see are the typical first impression of parkour. So I used to teach parkour. And I would have many conversations with worried parents about the dangers of parkour, because on the outside, it certainly looks very dangerous. The concept that I try to impress upon them is that parkour is actually much safer than a typical sport, say American football or rugby. And the reason is that the practitioner, if they're practicing correctly, is constantly self-monitoring. They're fully aware of what level they're at, and they work slowly and persistently to push that skill level a little bit at a time. This is possible because in parkour, you're not competing against anybody but yourself. To get a little bit philosophical here for a bit, the only person you have to beat is yesterday you. That idiot. So you don't have to go from knowing nothing to doing crazy backflips and leaping from skyscraper to skyscraper. You instead go from jumping on one line on the ground to another line on the ground. Once you're comfortable with that, and that's the key thing, once you're comfortable, you start raising the stakes, making the distance between those two lines a little bit bigger, or raising the height of the things you're jumping between. You continue to scale it up, getting higher each time, getting further and further away from each other each time. And when you're ready to progress further, you challenge yourself again by raising the height of the jump or the distance you jump between. This trying something new, this pushing of this comfort zone in spasmodic bursts when you're ready, is what Parkour Generations calls a break jump. It's important to note that I am saying break jump, as in broken leaping. The goal is to break your comfort zone and not anything else. It's a very clear distinction. In my humble opinion, I would have chosen a nicer name, like a progress jump, or uncomfy but good for you jump, but whatever. They call it a break jump, so that's what we're going to refer to it as. Break jumps, I think, are one of the most important things that I learned in my years of doing parkour. To the practitioner standing on the precipice, ready to jump across the gap to the other side, it is terrifying. And that's the point. They're supposed to be terrifying. This is what a break jump teaches us. It says that in order to progress, in order to expand your comfort zone and get better, you have to do some scary things. Progress isn't easy. So how does this apply to the polymath? Well, I think in order to understand that, you have to understand a little something about me. Near the beginning of the channel, in the third video that I made, Polymath Definition, I tried to explain what this channel is and how it came to be. And I think it's a pretty fucking good introduction. But if you haven't seen the video, I'll link it at the top of the description. And if you click on my channel, it'll be the first video that shows up. If you haven't seen it, the first third or so of the video is me recounting different interests and passions. I'm using air quotes again. This is the hard part about doing a video without video. There's no nonverbal cues. I'm doing air quotes around the word passions. I'd recount the different interests and passions I'd have over the years. The thing that's important to understand about me is that I got bored with those things, and I get bored with things a lot. Things lose their spunk, and I stop doing them. I don't want to stop doing this. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I like making things and showing them to people. Or in this case, playing them to people. I like chasing my excitement, even when that excitement changes week to week. This is the 19th video that I've made on this channel in 20 weeks. And to be honest, I've been sort of battling that boredom feeling, that little voice that says I can stop now, for the past few weeks. Now, the beauty of the format of this channel is that it's very nebulous. Like I said, I can't promise what the next video is going to be about or what the format will be. But that allows me to change it in some way that makes it exciting again, that reinvigorates me to keep making them, instead of convincing myself that I'd much rather watch Baby Driver again and relax the night away. Sometimes I feel kind of guilty for not having any consistency to offer you. Not being able to give you, the viewer, or in this case, the listener, any type of consistency, aside from the fact that all of the videos are coming from me. And that guilt keeps me from changing things to make them interesting for me. And this is where the challenge comes in. It does a few things simultaneously. Firstly, it livens things up a bit, much like how two people in a loveless marriage need to change things up to reignite that spark. That's what this challenge does for me and this channel. By doing something that I don't already know how to do, it kicks my brain into problem-solving mode, and it makes me excited again. Secondly, it strengthens me. By challenging myself in this way, doing something that I don't know how to do, something that is going to be difficult, I'm getting rid of everything that I feel comfortable doing. I've relied on my video editing skills to capture and hold your attention, and now that I've gotten rid of that crutch, my other proverbial muscles need to work harder. The atrophied muscles start to move again. My voice, inflection, diction, and the construction of the essay, all of these things I've noticed have been lacking in my other videos. And without this week's self-imposed challenge, I may not have realized that. Now, a logical person would probably say, things are going pretty well, and I'm getting more subscribers and supporters on Patreon, and I've been doing this for nearly 20 weeks. I'm coasting along. Why break a winning formula? But I am not a logical person. My mind says, okay, you know how to entertain them with video. You've got their attention. Now do it without the one thing that makes you comfortable. Make an interesting and attention-grabbing video without the video. So there you go. That was the challenge. Done. I have no idea if this worked. I hope it did, but I suppose you will be the one to tell me if it worked or not. I hope it has been interesting. If not, well, rest assured that it's going to be something different next week. As ever, give the video, I'm using air quotes again around the word video, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, share it if you know someone who needs to hear these challenging words, and if you want to join me on this journey into the unknown, you could subscribe. There should be a button somewhere on the screen. And if you would like to support this channel on Patreon, there's a link in the description. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week.